Hi, grade 7. This is Mrs. Crowley. Mr. Howard and I wanted to talk to you about our early Thursday behavior yesterday. So we had our early Thursday lunch with the entire grade in the cafeteria, and then we dismissed for you to go back to period 5. There was a big issue during that transition from the CAF to class. It was very unsafe in the hallways, and it really created a school emergency. And in this case, it wasn't one student's behavior. It wasn't even a small group of students' behavior. It was the majority of the grade's behavior. So we wanted to be able to address the grade as a whole about the situation. So when you got dismissed from the CAF, tables that were dismissed one at a time, and a majority of the tables were running out of the CAF into the hallway. I was standing right outside the CAF doors to make sure that we were exiting the correct way. And the amount of times that I had to say walk or to stop running was a lot. Miss Wade, one of our security monitors, was at the other end of the hallway. She was also reiterating the same thing. The office was right in the middle, and yet we still had issues walking to class. So for me, that's me in the hallway, Miss Wade at the other end, and the office, and we still could not transition correctly to class. There was running in the hallway, there was pushing and shoving, there was yelling, there was such a commotion that the secretaries had to leave the office and go out in the hallway to try and help handle it and address it. And then it still continued. The behavior still continued. Their kind of redirection was disregarded to the point where they were almost run into. Almost, thankfully, they weren't knocked over. We had parents sitting outside the office that also had to deal with the chaos of students running and students yelling and pushing and shoving. We allow you to cut through the courtyard to get to your class. And in the courtyard, there was pushing and shoving and yelling. And then there were also students blocking the exit to the courtyard. So some of our 7th grade students were not allowing students to pass through. This whole thing was absolutely unacceptable. It is unsafe, and it is not following the expectations that we have as a school. This only happened after grade 7 lunch. Our grade 6 students proved that they could transition to class. Our grade 8 students showed us that they could transition to class. But unfortunately, grade 8 could transition to class. But unfortunately, grade 7 as a whole had a very, very difficult time. So Mr. Howard's going to review what our expectations are in the hallways. And then he's also going to address some changes we are going to put in place because of what happened on early Thursday.
And so the emphasis on the expectations are the same every day from transition from one class to another class. It's the same, and they've been the high expectations that we've set for you since the beginning of the year, and they're the same expectations that we expect from you every day. Unfortunately, those expectations weren't met. First expectation, right? Walk between classes, walk from the hallway, walk from the cafeteria to your next class, right? Walk so that you can see where you're going with your head up so that you can see people in front of you, right? Chromebooks should be closed. You should just be walking, making sure that you're getting to your location, talking in a nice, calm voice. Stay to the right, right? When you're walking in the hall. Today, kids were running. The whole entire hallway was packed, flooding the office area. Parents are sitting there. People that are working in the office that take care of how we function and run the building were disturbed, were actually frightened. That is not the meeting the expectations that are becoming of us. And then listening to adult directions. It's when it gets to that point when an adult is trying to speak to you and there's so much noise and there's so much chaos, it really is a safety issue. So the 8th graders will be able to continue on early release days to have a regular early release lunch together. The 6th graders have earned the right, based on their behavior and the way that they exited the cafeteria, they're going to have an early release lunch. What we've decided, because of the behaviors and not meeting the expectations that we have for you, is that your 7th grade teachers on the next early release day, and this will be the way it's going to happen until, as long as you are not meeting the expectations that we believe you can, this is how we're going to do it. The 7th grade teachers are going to walk you down to the cafeteria on early release days. You will have your teacher select the table or tables that you will sit at for that lunch period. That will be your seat for the remainder of your lunch period. So you will be sitting by classrooms, by your teacher assigned tables. Then at the end of lunch, you will be, just like in elementary school, you will be picked up by your teacher and walked to your next class. So this is a consequence specifically for the behaviors that we saw with 7th grade today. And we would like to be able to return it to normal, and have you be able to come and just have lunch, walk to class like the young people that you are, or that you can be. But until then, we feel like this is the measure that's going to help you understand that these expectations are real, that safety in the building is real, and that we want to hold you accountable to have a good, successful year. Mrs. Crowley?
Thanks, Mr. Howard. So that is going to be going into effect the next early Thursday and the following early Thursdays. But again, you guys can show us and prove to us that you can handle the independence of transitioning to lunch and from lunch on your own. The way you can prove that to us is through all your other transitions. So if you are transitioning safely when you go from class to class, that would be the way you show us that you can earn your early Thursday lunches back. But until that time, 7th grade, your early Thursday lunches are assigned by classroom, and you will be picked up by the teacher and walked back to your classes on early Thursdays. We'll send a reminder. Teachers will remind you before our next early Thursday about that new routine. And we really, really hope that we can be following the school expectations so that we can have a positive, safe school community. We really expect greatness from all of you. And we really want to make sure that OMS is a safe and positive school community for all of us. So thank you.
Thank you.